Hi YouTube family, my name is Vicky. So in today's video we will learn how to automate creation of EC2 machine with the help of Python Boto3 Automation. Now before we go to the demo, let me tell you what all things we require in this video. The first thing, we require the AWS CLI to be installed on your machine. The second, we need the Python 3 installed on your machine from which you want to run all those commands. Then we need the pip to be installed, and then last we need the Boto3. Now how you can install the AWS CLI, there is a documentation for that. You can go to the official website of the AWS and AWS CLI install, and you can follow this instruction on how to install AWS CLI on your machine. If you scroll down, you have the instruction to install it on Linux, Mac OS or Windows. I have created one video as well on how to install AWS CLI on your local machine. So I will give you the link in the description. If you are not sure like how to install AWS CLI, or if you find any difficulty while going through this documentation, you can go and watch that video. In that video I have explained each and everything, how you can create a user, how you can create a policy, how you can give access to the user, and how you can configure the user on your local machine with the help of the AWS CLI. The next thing we require is Python 3. So if you need to install the Python 3, I have already Python 3 installed on my machine, so I'm not going to install it one more time. But let me tell you the step. For that, what you need to do is you need to go to the python.org. Once you are on this website, you need to go to the download, and from here you need to click on the download. Right now I'm on the Mac OS, so it is telling me download for Mac OS. It's depend on your system. If you are on Windows, it will show you download for Windows. If you are on Linux, it will show you download for Linux. You just need to click on this, and then you have your Python installed. Once you have your Python installed, the next thing you need to do is you need to install the Boto3. And how you can install the Boto3? For that, you need to run a command pip 3 install Boto3. Once you enter that command after installing of the Python, you are able to install the Boto3. And in last, we need a IDE. Now it is totally up to you. You can use any IDE, like you can use Atom, you can use pycharm, or you can use Visual Studio. That is totally up to you. For this video we are going to use pycharm. So if you need to install the pycharm, so what you need to do is you need to go to the pycharm JetBrains. So this is the official website. Once you are on this official website, you are able to download this thing. Let me show it to you. Pycharm download. Now here you will get two options. One is for the professional and the other one is for the community. Make sure you download the community version, because professional, where you need to pay some kind of amount, so that is not recommended. If you are just doing it for the test purpose, you can install the community, and from here you need to download. First you need to select the operating system. If you are on Windows, select the Windows one, and then go to the community and click on download, and your download will install. Once you have all those things installed on your system, you are good to go with the Python Boto3 automation. Now let me open my pycharm. So this is my pycharm, and here what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one file. So let me create one Python file, and let me give a name EC2 create demo. Now the first thing which we need, once we are going to configure the AWS CLI on our local machine, then what we need to do is we need to go to this documentation, Boto3 EC2 creation. You need to go to the Boto3 SDB. Now this is the official documentation of the Boto3, and here you will get detail of all the services which are there in the AWS. Okay, and now here you have two kind of function. One is the resource function and the other one is the client function. So if you need to understand the difference between the client and the resource is for the top level things. So when I say the top level thing, let me go to the AWS console. So here I am in the AWS console and let me click on the EC2. Now resource is something from where you will get this top level details, like these details you will get it from the resource, and the client function is something where you will get the detail of the metadata. Let's suppose you have this instance, and from this instance you need to get the detail of the alarm status. Now this is something you will get with the help of the client. So in this video we will focus only on the client. I'm not going with the resource option, but later on I will create some videos where I will tell you like how you can work with the resource as well. Now let's suppose the task is we need to create a machine with the help of the Boto3. So how we need to create a machine with the help of the Boto3? The first thing, you need to go to this documentation which is with the Boto3, and from here you need to search for the EC2 service. Now here you have the EC2 service. Let me scroll up here. Now you need to click here. Now once you are on this page, the second thing which you need to do is you need to scroll down and you need to copy this thing. Import Boto3 and client is equal to Boto3 dot client EC2. Let me copy this thing and let me go to my pycharm and enter this thing here. Now let me explain this thing. The first thing which you are doing, you are importing the Boto3 module, and the second thing you are creating, okay, this is the one, Boto3.client EC2. So you are actually telling Boto3 that we are going to use this EC2 service, and from where it is going to pick the credentials for the EC2 or for the AWS, that is something you have configured it with the help of the AWS CLI command. Okay, now this is one thing, and we are going to create a variable. So when we are going to create a variable, so for variable we need to give a name. So let me, now here the variable name is client. So client is equal to Boto3 dot client EC2. Now from where we get this information? From here. Now what we need, let's suppose we need to create couple of machines. So for that you need to search for that. So for that what we need to do is run instance. Here we have. Now launch the specified number of instance using an AMI for which you have permission. Now from where you will get the permission? From the AWS CLI, which you have already configured on your machine. Okay. Now here you also need a AMI, Amazon Machine Image. You can specify the number of options or leave the default option. So let me scroll down and see the number of options. So here we have the number of options. Let me scroll down. So starting from here, request syntax from here till this point. Now you can mention anything, whatever your requirement is. Now let me go top and let me copy this first thing. Response is equal to client run instance. Now what exactly the run instance is? Let me go back, let me scroll up, let me show it to you. From here, run instance, this is the one, run instance. It's a key argument. Okay, now here it is, response client this. Let me copy this thing and let me go to my pycharm. Now again this is a variable. Now this variable comes from here, client is equal to Boto3 dot EC2. You can give something like this as well, or you can give the variable name. Now this is something, it is totally up to your choice. You can give any name here, but make sure whatever the name you give here, you need to give the same name here. The second thing is, again you are creating a variable. Now variable for what? For this thing, to run instance, and the response is this. So now you can remove this thing. Now you can give any name here. It is not something that you have to give the response only. It is totally up to your choice. Like you can give EC2 create, something like that. It's a variable name only. Let me go with the response here. Now here we need to give the arguments. Now what arguments? Whenever we are creating a EC2 machine, let me go to this, and whenever we are creating a EC2 machine, the first thing which we require is the AMI ID. Now this is the AMI ID we require. So now let me go to the Boto3 and let me check where is the AMI ID. Now here it is, image ID. Now this is something I need. So let me copy this thing. Let me go to my pycharm and let me enter it here. Is equal to, this is going to be a string, so I need to give it in a string. Now what image ID I need to give? This one. And whatever the machine you need to create, you need to provide that AMI ID here. So let me copy this thing. Let me go back to my pycharm. And now the next thing. Now let me click on next. So the next thing which we require is the instance type. So let me go here and look for the instance type. Here it is. Let me copy this one. Okay, equal, again it is going to be the string. Now here we need to provide the value, like which value? This value, T2 micro, T2 small, T2 medium, whatever the type of machine we need to create, we need to provide that value. So here it is, all the value. So what value I need to give? That is the T2 micro, T2 dot micro. Why I am selecting T2 micro? Because it is in the free tier, that is the reason. So T2 micro, so this is the one, T2 micro. Okay, let me go to my pycharm, T2 micro. Now if I need to provide more parameters, I can do that. So let me click on next and let's see. The next parameter for me is to configure instance detail, where I can provide the VPC information, where I can provide the user data, or if I need to assign any of the role, I can do all those things. So again, if I need to provide any of those settings, I can go and check for those settings and provide it here. Okay, then let me provide some of the mandatory information like the key pair I need. So let me check for the key pair key name. Here it is. So let me provide the key name here. So again it is going to be the string. Now you need to provide the key name here. So for me, I think I already have one of the key pair downloaded on my local machine, but let me check. For that, I need to go to the key pair option, and the key pair option I will get in the EC2. On the left hand side, I have this key pair. So I have couple of key pair. Let me copy this key pair and let me provide that information here. If I need to provide more parameter, I can do that. If I'm not going to provide, what will happen? It is going to take the default parameter and it is going to create a machine for me. Now the next parameter is something important. I need to tell how many machines I need to create. So how I can provide that thing? So if I go to the AWS console, while creating a machine, let me go to the instance and let me click on here. T2 micro. Here we have the number of instance. From here we can change the number of instance, like if we need to create 1, if we need to create 2, we can provide that value here. The same thing we need to provide it in this parameter as well. So how we can provide that information? That is with the help of the minimum and the maximum. So let me search for the minimum and the maximum. So max count and the minimum count. So let me copy both of these things, and let me enter it here. Okay, now how many machines I need? I need only one machine. Minimum is going to be 1, maximum is going to be 1. If you need to create 2 machine, so you can change this value to 2. If you need to create 3 machine, you can change this value. Okay, minimum and the maximum value. Now do I need anything else as well? So if we are creating a machine, the most important thing which we need is the security group. here we need to provide the security group. So let me go and see. I have couple of security groups already created. So let me search for any of the, so let's suppose I need this security group. I need to provide this security group information. So let me search for security group ID in the documentation. Here it is, security group ID. Let me copy this thing, and this is a list. So that means I can provide multiple information here. It is not a string, it is a list. See this thing. Okay, now security group, now here equal to, here I can provide multiple values, but as of now I only need to provide one security group information. So let me copy the security group ID and let me provide it here. If I need to provide multiple, what I need to do is I need to do something like this. Okay, let me delete this thing. Okay, we are good. Do I need to provide any other information? Let me see. We have provided the key pair, we have provided the instance type, image ID, minimum and the maximum count, and the security group information we have provided. I think we are good. So let me see, security group ID, subnet. If you want to provide the subnet information, you can do that. User data, you can provide that information. So you can provide all the information from here. Okay, now the next thing in, once I'm done with all those things, I need to remove this comma from here. I'm done with this. So what it is going to do is it is going to create an instance for me, but I need to get that information as well from here. Now if I'm going to run this thing, what will happen, it is going to give me the result in 0 and 1. 0 is going to be successful and 1 is going to be there is some problem. But I don't want that information. I need to get some information from the AWS console. I want, when my instance is created, I need the instance ID for that. So how I can do that? For that, what I'm going to do is, for instance, now this is something you can give any name here. I'm just going with the instance in whatever the name you are giving it here, because this is from here you need to get that information, right? So response. Okay, now what information you need? Now for that you need to go to the official documentation again. You need to scroll down, it will give you the result as well. So let me go down. It's a very big documentation, so make sure you go slow. Now here is the return, and return type is dictionary. So from dictionary we need to pick what? We need to pick this instance ID. So how we need to do that? For instance in response in here, what we need to get? We need to get this instances, right? Now from this instances, what we need to get? We need to get this instance ID. Okay, so here what I am going to type is print whatever the name you are going to give here, this instance, the same name you need to give here, instance. Then what do you need? You need a instance ID. Okay, let's suppose you need other information as well. You need let's suppose you need the kernel ID, key name, launch type, monitoring information. If you need any other information, you can also provide that information as well. So let's suppose if you need the instance type as well, so what you can do is you can copy this thing, print it here. Let me correct the format. Oops, I don't know why it is doing that. Now it is okay. Let me give the launch time. Let me copy this thing one more time, and we also need one more information, that is kernel ID, monitoring. Let's suppose we need the image ID as well. Okay, so let me change it to image ID. Now you are good. you are good with your automation. The only thing which you need to do now is to run this. And how you can run this thing? If you are on the pycharm, you can right click and you can run this thing. Now once you click, if you have any error message or something, it will give you the here, like it is telling me was never closed. It is telling me this thing is not closed. See, we missed to close this thing. That's okay, we can close it. Okay, now let me run it one more time, and here process finish with the exit code 1. So that is something I was telling you, like if it is successful, you will get the 0. If you are getting any error message, the status code is going to be, or the exit code is going to be 1. Okay, now let me rerun this thing. I think we are good. See, we got the instance information, we got the creation or the launch time and the image ID. So this is the image ID I have provided here. Now let me verify whether we have this instance created or not. So for that, what we need to do is we need to go to the EC2 console. Let me refresh this thing. Now here we have one instance is in the process of creation. It is pending, and let me check the other information as well. Let me go to the security. In the security, we have mentioned this security group. So let me verify that thing. In the security group, we have mentioned this. Just check the last 4 digit A6FP. Yes, the same thing here. One more thing we have mentioned, I think this key pair name. So let me check for the key pair name as well. That is something I will get in detail. Key pair, here it is. Key pair name is this. Now by this way you can create instance with the help of the Python Boto3. Now if you need to create couple of instances, you can change this value. If you want to change the security group, you can change the security group information here. If you need to change the AMI, you can change it here. If you need to change the instance type, you can change it here. If you need to print something else in the response or in the result, you can do that. So it's very easy. It's a one-time script only. You can copy and save it somewhere, and whenever there is a requirement to create a machine, you can do couple of changes and create your machine easily. Okay.